Hey guys, welcome back to the MCU HQ. This is my review for the series finale of WandaVision. I will start this review out non-spoiler, let you know when I'm getting into spoilers, and then tomorrow I'm going to do a giant spoiler discussion review of the entire series. We have some stuff to talk about here, so let's just dive right in with the non-spoiler. And I want to talk about the bad first, because I was pretty disappointed by this finale, unfortunately. It had some loose ends. It had some just unsatisfying conclusions to some of the questions it had. The show opened up like a different can of worms every single episode, and then just had too many for this finale. The finale should have been longer. It came in at 50 minutes, which is really just under 40 minutes, and then 2 post-credit scenes, because there are 2, one of which is pretty lengthy, and then 7 minutes of credits or whatever they do. And there's so many unanswered questions, not just that they introduce in the show, but things that they also, maybe they allude to or they hint at, or things we've seen behind the scenes that we don't have answers to, we don't have any hints to, nothing, and I'll touch on that in spoilers. It was just weird, and this episode even creates new plot points. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be wrapping up. And also the final fight seemed incredibly cheap, and I'm not sure why, because the show has showed that it had a pretty good budget. The fights seemed kind of cheap. Like, a lot of it, I noticed, it kind of consisted of a character just waiting for another character to attack, and then the fight was kind of like janky. I'm not going to tell you which fight in particular, but it was a fight I was really looking forward to. That was a huge disappointment when it happened. But, of course, there's good stuff. Once again, the show's so well acted. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany acted the hell out of this episode. There was an emotional ending that almost got me at a couple points. I'm going to elaborate more on it in spoilers. I had chills at one point. Again, I'll talk about that in spoilers, and it was a really satisfying ending for one of the plot lines of the show, which I can't wait to talk about in spoilers also. It's honestly easier to talk about the finale non-spoiler than I thought. They put out a spoiler PSA on YouTube. It was Randall Park and Kat Dennings telling you not to spoil it. The only other 2 times they did that was Infinity War and Endgame, so I went in with higher hopes than I ended up getting. I feel like it was a mistake doing the spoiler warning. It really didn't need it, and so it kind of became disappointing because you go in expecting certain things and then it didn't really deliver on that, which raises a question: is it our fault or the writer's fault that this is a kind of disappointing finale? Like, did our own fan theories cause us to be disappointed about when something wasn't answered? I want to get into this in spoilers, but I am going to say that it's both, because there's certain things the writers did that warranted theories, and then the answer to it was just so bad, and then there's things the fans thought of on their own, dug a bit too deep. So I do want to discuss that in spoilers. Again, there's 2 post-credit scenes, so stick around for those. One is right after the main titles with the cast, and then the other one's after the normal credits. Watch them both. And so there you go. There's my non-spoiler thoughts. Had some good stuff, but for the most part, it was a disappointing episode, and I need to see the rest of this multiverse storyline to see if they end up wrapping things up or how it continues, because as it stands, I'm very unsatisfied. Alright, now, let's get into spoilers. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. If you have not seen the episode, go watch the episode, because we are about to get into some hardcore spoilers here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, where to start? might as well start with Quicksilver, because Quicksilver was a nobody. He was Ralph, that Agnes has been teasing, and what they used Quicksilver. He basically held Monica hostage. He didn't do anything. He didn't even fight at the end. I thought he and Tommy were gonna fight because their bond was so tight in the Halloween episode, but no. So it was this dude named Ralph Boner, who Agnes put a spell on and got him to be Quicksilver. So it was a penis joke, was what his whole character ended up culminating into. And this is where I'll raise the question of, is it our fault or the writer's fault for this? And again, I'm going to say both, and I'll mention it later. But in this instance, this was the writer's fault, because they brought in Evan Peters to play Quicksilver. There's so many people on the planet. If they didn't bring in Aaron Taylor Johnson, which I guess they couldn't for the dumb twist they wanted to do, then they needed to bring in some rando to be Quicksilver. They can't bring in Evan Peters, the dude from the Fox universe, in a tie-in to a multiverse movie, to be Quicksilver. Because of course fans are going to start speculating about how it happened. So of course we're going to be upset when it's revealed that he's just some random idiot who didn't get a fight at the end and his whole character just amounted to a dick joke. This wasn't even this episode, but the aerospace engineer was another instance where they hyped it up and it didn't matter. There's actually quite a lot of things they did that to. So let's talk about White Vision. Because this was the fight where I was like, this just doesn't feel right. Like they're just kind of flying around waiting for each other to punch. Their beams did hit at one point, which made me happy. I really wanted that to happen. I was happy when it did. And they have this little conversation, and Vision's like, hey, I can restore your memories. And he touches on his head where the Mind Stone would be. Vision, we see like just a quick montage of all Vision's MCU scenes, and he says, I'm Vision. And he flies away. And I was expecting him to come back, maybe kind of help snap Wanda out of it. He'd be like, hey, I'm here. But he didn't show back up. He left the show. He didn't even show back up in the post-credit scene. Like, so what was that? I mean, sure, he'll probably be back in Multiverse of Madness, but you mean to tell me that after he realized he was the love of Wanda's life, he didn't do anything to stop her from doing the evil stuff she is about to do? Come on, Jack Schaefer. Also, remember Jimmy Woo's guy in Witness Protection who was in Westview, the whole reason Jimmy was there in the first place? Yeah, didn't see him, did we? And that's what I'm saying. There's things they put on the table that they didn't answer. And whether they warranted theories or not, if you're going to open up that much stuff, it's your job to answer it in some way. And I get that this is just the first installment of the multiverse storyline. There's going to be more. It's going to be in Doctor Strange. But I feel like it shouldn't be Doctor Strange's problem to answer all this. Doctor Strange has his own stuff going on. And do you really think that movie is going to focus on who the guy in Witness Protection was, who the aerospace engineer was, the whole deal with Quicksilver, White Vision? It could, but it shouldn't have to. That should be WandaVision's thing to deal with. And also, I'll come back, I said, is it our fault or the writers? I already touched on the whole Quicksilver thing being clearly the writer's fault, but it was also kind of our fault. We dug way too deep. We were going into Mephisto stuff. There was some nightmare stuff. I don't even know who started the rumor that Wanda busts open the multiverse, but the point is the fans dug so deep. We were disappointed when the show didn't end up being as deep as we all thought it was. Let's talk about Wanda's outfit, because this was the moment that gave me chills. She kind of put runes on the Westview walls, and then Agnes was kind of sucking Wanda's power, and then it stopped working because the runes were active, and it was a callback to Agnes saying only someone who casts the runes can use the magic in that space. Sucks it all out of Agatha. And it was cool because she walked out, and it was just like the Mind Stone thing. She walked out, she was in the full garb, she had the headpiece, and It looked incredible. I mean, just take a look at that. That is a beauty. It really is. Really is. And so she's rocking it. So she has like the most comic accurate outfit of anyone in the MCU, and she's gonna be in Doctor Strange in that outfit, which is really cool. I'm not touching on everything. I'm not talking about like all the Citizens of Westview, all that. I'm not going to touch on that. That'll be for the big spoiler discussion tomorrow. So I'll touch on some of the big things. Hayward got arrested. They locked him up. Jimmy got the FBI to come down. They investigated. Hayward's locked up. That's a satisfying, although I would have preferred if he was killed. But this is a satisfying ending too. It's also worth pointing out he shot at Billy. Like he was just going to shoot a kid in the head, whether he was real or not. And Wanda has to get the kids back somehow, which we get a tease for in the post-credit scene that she's going to try to do that. And so now let's talk real quick while we're on the subject of the Darkhold. Let's talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Kevin Feige just wiped Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from canon because Agatha had the Darkhold in this finale. It was sitting in her basement, which is a contradiction to both where it started out and where it ended up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it also looks extremely different. In S.H.I.E.L.D. it looks like this. In WandaVision it looks like this. These are not the same book. I don't want to hear excuses on how they can't be the same book. Oh, maybe it changed. Maybe it went from here to there. Well, we don't know. No, I'm not hearing it. Okay, you cannot make up an excuse for how these are the same book. These are different books. People who think Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. is still canon need to get their heads out of their asses because this and this are not the same Darkhold. And this is the canon one because whatever Marvel Studios does will always take precedent. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has just been wiped from canon. In 3 seconds, Kevin Feige just wiped a whole show from canon. It's insane. Okay, after that tangent, let's get back to the ending because this was emotional. It almost got me at a few points. Wanda and Vision, they say goodbye to the kids. And Wanda says, thank you for choosing me to be your mom, which oh man, that was good. And then her and Vision go back downstairs. They're going to say goodbye to each other. And they're just some great lines. Vision says, what am I? And Wanda says, you, Vision, are the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me. But mostly you're my love. And my God, Elizabeth Olsen acted the hell out of that scene. It was so good. I almost teared up. I was kind of like sad. I didn't tear up, but I was kind of sad. So that it was a very well written ending. And then the other great line is the last one they say to each other. Vision says, we've said goodbye before, and Wanda said, so it stands to reason we'll say hello again. Because White Vision's going to pop up. And then the hex shrinks down. And Vision fades away, and then Wanda's standing there in just this empty lot. She walks by all the people. They kind of give her a dirty look. Monica talks to her. She said if she was in the position, she'd bring back her mom. Like Monica gets that. Like there's this little heartfelt moment between two. And Wanda leaves. She puts on her comic outfit, and she just leaves. And it ends with her just flying away. And I'm like, that's it? Really? But it was. And then we get 2 post-credit scenes, so someone wants to see Monica in the theater. It's a Skrull, and it's not Talos or his wife. So I'm pretty sure it's Talos' daughter, the one that Monica was talking to, says he wants to see you and points up, which I'm guessing would be Fury. So she's going to space, which there's your setup for Captain Marvel 2, which is next year, so that's cool. I like how they tied that in. It was another Skrull post-credit scene. Like, what happened? I thought it was cool, but I was like, okay. I had one of those in Far From Home. The excitement of it just isn't there like it was the first time I saw that happen. But it's still cool how they tied her into Captain Marvel 2 like that. Second post-credit scene, this is the one that connects Doctor Strange. Because Wanda is in a house, which I am 100% sure is the house Bruce Banner was in at the ending of The Incredible Hulk. It looks the same. She's in it. She's on the porch. She goes to make tea. And then it cuts back into her room, and her astral projection is reading the Darkhold, and her we hear Billy say, "Mom, Mom," and then she looks up, her eyes are red, and then we cut. Doctor Strange is going to have to come in and deal with that. She's going to be a villain in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse Madness, which will be interesting to see. And then they're gonna bring the kids back for Young Avengers. And one last note: Wanda did not rip open the multiverse. The multiverse is not open. So No Way Home might not be Spider-Verse like we've all been saying it is. There you go. There are my thoughts on WandaVision. Both non-spoiler and spoiler. Full spoiler breakdown thoughts tomorrow on the whole show. Might do a ranking of the episodes. I think that'll be fun. I also got some fun content coming at you. So guys, there you go. What do you think of WandaVision episode 9? What do you think of my review for WandaVision episode 9? Let me know that down in the comments below. Leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.